Hi, and welcome to this video on how to integrate FIDO2 authentication into Workspace ONE Access. Let's get going. So here we are inside the Workspace ONE Access administration console, and to enable FIDO2 we need to go to Identity and Access Management, Authentication Methods, and we need to enable FIDO by ticking the Enable box and saving the settings. Next, we need to enable FIDO inside the built-in connector. So we need to navigate to Identity Providers, Built-in, and we need to enable FIDO inside the built-in connector and save those settings. Next, we need to create a policy which will allow users to register FIDO2 authenticators. So we're going to edit the default access policy, and we're going to add a new policy which applies in this case to all devices and all ranges, and we're going to enable the selector to enable registration of FIDO authenticators. We can also here select the authentication that's needed in order to register an authenticator. In this case we're just going to use a password. We're going to save that and we're going to move that right to the top of the list. Next, we need to create a policy to apply FIDO authentication to a particular application. In this case we're going to add a new policy and we're going to call it FIDO. We're going to apply this to the Salesforce application in our catalogue and click Next. And we're going to add a rule that applies to all devices, and we're going to enable FIDO as the only required authentication mechanism. So let's take a look at some demos, and we'll start off with macOS. I'm going to log into the admin portal and I'm going to select the Salesforce application. It picks up the FIDO policy and prompts me for a FIDO authenticator, but I haven't registered one yet, so I'm going to click the register button and I'm going to insert my YubiKey into the USB port. It acknowledges it and asks me for a PIN. Then it will prompt me to give that device a friendly name, and this is what we'll be able to see inside the Access admin console. I'm going to call it YubiKey 5 NFC. Now I've activated it, I can log in with it, so I'm going to click the sign in button, put my PIN in, and it's going to use FIDO to authenticate me to the application, and it seamlessly takes me into Salesforce. Going back into the admin console and going to users and groups and finding my user account, you can see that by clicking on the two-factor authentication box you can see the tokens that I've registered in here. And as an administrator I have options to delete tokens, I have options to block tokens, or I can manually add tokens on a user's behalf. Now let's switch our attention to a different type of device, and this time I'm on a Chromebook. I'm going to log into the Intelligent Hub via the URL, and again I'm going to launch the Salesforce application. Again it prompts me for my FIDO authenticator, but this time I've already got one registered, so I don't need to register it. I simply plug it into the USB port and it should prompt me for my 4-digit PIN. I enter the PIN that I set when I registered it and it authenticates me into Salesforce. So now let's switch to a Windows 10 device, and we're going to navigate in the browser to the Intelligent Hub portal. We're going to log in and we're going to access the Salesforce app from within the app catalogue. When we launch the Salesforce app, we should be prompted for FIDO authentication, and of course we've already registered our YubiKey token, so we can insert that straight away and we can click the sign in button, and we are only asked to insert our PIN, and that should successfully log us into Salesforce. Now when it comes to Windows 10 devices, we also support another type of integrated FIDO2 authenticator, and that is Windows Hello. So this time we're going to log in on the same device, but this time instead of signing in with the YubiKey, we're going to register a new device. And you can see straight away that Windows Hello kicks in, sees who I am, and adds itself as a FIDO authenticator against me as a user. Again, it will ask me to give that authenticator a friendly name, which I would be able to see in the Workspace ONE admin portal. Once I've added that, I can activate it and I can use it to sign in. So when I now click sign in with FIDO2 Authenticator, I'm prompted whether I want to use the YubiKey or whether I want to use Face ID through Windows Hello. In this case, I'm going to use Windows Hello, and once I've proved who I am, it's going to sign me in. So that's now shown you two different authentication types we can use with Windows 10. And finally, let's take a look at what this looks like on an iOS device. So here we're on an iPhone. We're going to navigate to the Intelligent Hub app and we're going to launch that. In this case, it's logging in with Mobile SSO, so there will be no prompt for username or password. Once we're into the Intelligent Hub, we're going to navigate to the catalogue and we're going to launch the Salesforce application. Here, as with all the other platforms, it will prompt us for FIDO2 authentication, and we're going to hold the FIDO key. Because it's an NFC key, we're going to hold it to the back of the device. Holding it to the back of the phone makes it prompt for the PIN, which we're going to type in. And once we type the PIN in, hold the token at the back of the phone again, it will sign us into the Salesforce application. So hopefully that's given you a good overview of how FIDO2 authentication works in Workspace ONE Access. Thanks for listening.